4 things that kill your value in front of a man right now in this room. Some of you are carrying silent battles. You're doing everything you can, loving hard, giving your best, being loyal, and yet somehow you're feeling unseen, undervalued, or even replaceable. And it's not because you're not enough. It's because somewhere along the way, no one taught you what silently kills your value in front of a man. Today, I'm not here to tell you to be someone else. I'm here to show you how to return to your power. Because the truth is, you don't have to chase love, beg for respect, or lose yourself to be worthy. Stay with me. Because what I'm about to share could change how every man sees you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Let's get real about something that's robbing so many incredible women of their true power. The need for constant validation. The moment you start needing a man to tell you who you are, you've already lost yourself. You've already surrendered the most precious thing you have, your own internal certainty. And listen to me, certainty is magnetic. Certainty is rare. Certainty is what makes people respect you, follow you, fall in love with you. When you know who you are and you don't need anyone to confirm it, you become unforgettable. But when you hand that power over, when your value is on trial every single day, waiting for him to approve of you like you're standing in front of a judge, you stop being the prize. You stop being the energy he wants to chase. You become something that constantly needs feeding. And over time, no matter how much he cared at first, that neediness feels heavy. It feels exhausting. Not because you're not worthy, but because it's not attractive to need someone else to tell you you're enough. You are enough. You've been enough. But if you don't believe it first, no one else can believe it for you. You see, every time you look to him, did I say the right thing? Did I do enough? Does he still love me today? You shrink your own light. You minimize your own energy. And what happens is, instead of showing up as the powerful woman he was drawn to, you start showing up as a version of yourself that's worried, doubting, second-guessing, and that's not who you were born to be. Men are drawn to women who are certain about who they are, not arrogant, not fake confident. I'm talking about a quiet, deep inner knowing, a sense of, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. I am love. I am enough, whether you see it or not. That's the kind of energy that changes how a man treats you. That's the kind of energy that commands respect without you having to ask for it. You don't build that by waiting for compliments. You don't build it by asking for permission to feel good about yourself. You build it by doing the work inside, by setting the standard for how you treat yourself, by falling so in love with who you are, flaws and all, that anyone who comes into your life is just adding to something that's already complete. The truth is, you have to become the source of your own validation, not your friends, not social media, not your man, you. When you walk into a room, you need to carry yourself like you already belong, not because someone gave you permission, but because you decided to own your space. When you speak, speak like your words matter. Because do. When you look in the mirror, see a woman who has already made it, whether or not anyone claps for her today. That's the difference between women who stay powerful in their relationships and women who slowly disappear. And let's be real, when you don't need validation, but you're open to love, open to connection, something amazing happens. You give the man in your life the freedom to choose you, not because you're begging for it, but because he wants to. You create the space for genuine, deep attraction, not from fear, but from desire. That's a whole different game. So if you've been chasing his approval, if you've been waiting for him to say the right thing to make you feel secure, it's time to stop. Not because you're giving up on love, but because you're shifting from being at the mercy of someone else's attention to standing fully rooted in your own worth. And listen, when you make that shift, when you stop needing and start knowing, the entire energy of your relationship changes. He feels it. You feel it. And suddenly you're not wondering if he's going to stay. You know that if he doesn't recognize your value, that's his loss, not yours. Because a woman who validates herself is a woman no man wants to lose. Another silent killer of your value in a man's eyes is when you start lowering your standards just to keep him. And let's get this straight. Love does require compromise, but it should never cost you your soul. The moment you start giving up the things that make you who you are, your values, your vision, your non-negotiables, just to hold on to a relationship, you are trading short-term connection for long-term resentment. And here's the kicker. You're not just teaching him how to treat you. You're also teaching yourself what you're willing to accept. When you lower your standards, you send a message without even realizing it. You say, my needs don't matter as much. You say, my dreams can wait. You say, my peace, my dignity, my happiness, they're all negotiable as long as you stay. And every time you do that, you chip away at your own sense of worth. You become smaller to make him more comfortable. You silence your voice to avoid conflict. You accept crumbs and call it a feast. But deep down, a part of you knows, this isn't the life you were made for. This isn't the love you imagined. Real men respect women who respect themselves. They don't admire the woman who abandons herself for love. They admire the woman who holds the line, who knows who she is and refuses to bend in half just to be liked. You've got to understand something. Standards are not walls. They're not barriers to keep people out. They're gates that only open for those who deserve to walk through. When you have standards, you're not making it harder for a man to love you. You're making it clear to the right man how to love you properly. And if a man is scared off by your standards, let him go. Bless him. Thank him for removing himself before he wasted more of your time. Because the man who's meant to stand beside you will see your standards, and instead of feeling threatened, he'll feel inspired to rise. You were not born to convince someone to choose you. You were born to be chosen naturally by the one who recognizes your worth without you having to shrink, hustle, or pretend. When you bend your boundaries to keep him, you don't end up keeping him anyway. You end up keeping a version of him that doesn't fully respect you. And worse, you end up losing yourself in the process. And I get it. Fear can whisper lies in your ear. If I ask for too much, he'll leave. If I stand up for myself, he'll find someone easier. If I show my true standards, I'll end up alone. But let me tell you something real. It's better to be alone standing tall in your truth than to be together with someone while you're slowly dying inside. And you know this already. You feel it when you're sacrificing pieces of yourself. You feel it when you say yes, but everything inside you is screaming no. That's your spirit warning you. This isn't love. This is fear dressed up as love. The woman who refuses to betray herself for a relationship becomes a woman no man can ever truly forget. She becomes the one he respects, even if he doesn't say it, the one he measures others by, even if he's too late to deserve her. You've got to decide today. Your standards are your life force. Protect them, honor them, celebrate them. You don't raise your standards for the right man. You raise them for yourself, and then you watch how the wrong men fall away and the right one stands in awe of who you are. Because a woman who refuses to lose herself for love becomes the woman who receives the love she always deserved. Now let's talk about one of the biggest traps so many women fall into without even realizing it: overgiving and overinvesting too soon. It starts from a beautiful place. You care, you have a big heart, you want to show up fully, you want to nurture, to love, to pour into someone you believe has potential. And that's a beautiful thing. But when you give too much too soon, before he's earned the right to receive that part of you, you create a dynamic that will eventually break your heart. Relationships are not built by flooding a man with attention, gifts, effort, and energy the moment you meet him. They're built through mutual investment. step by step, brick by brick. Both people choosing each other, growing into deeper connection through actions and trust over time. But when you sprint ahead, when you try to prove how valuable you are by how much you give, you strip the natural balance out of the relationship. Overgiving teaches a man to receive without effort. It teaches him that your love is guaranteed no matter how little he brings to the table. It robs him of the chance to earn your heart, to invest his time, his attention, his energy, to feel the pride of working for something real. And what happens when you give without measure to someone who hasn't earned it? He doesn't value it not because he's a bad person, but because human beings don't value what comes too easily. It's wired into our psychology. When something requires effort, when it demands presence, when it makes us stretch, we value it more. That's true in business, in fitness, and yes, in love too. You need to give a man space to choose you. You need to give him space to wonder about you, to think about you, to miss you. If you're always available, always reaching out, always planning, always pouring in 90% while he's barely given 10%, you're not inspiring him. You're overwhelming him. Love isn't a rescue mission. It's not your job to fill in all the gaps, to prove how worthy you are by doing more, giving more, loving harder. Your worth is not measured by how much effort you expend to win someone over. Your worth is already established, and when you believe that, when you really embody that, you stop auditioning for a part that's already yours. You see, the woman who knows her value gives, but she gives wisely. She matches energy. She observes. She allows the relationship to unfold naturally, without rushing, without forcing. She doesn't give in hopes of securing love. She gives as a reflection of the love already inside her, and only to those who are willing and able to reciprocate. And look, I know it can feel scary to pull back a little. You might think, but what if I lose him? What if he forgets about me? Let me tell you something powerful. You don't lose a man who is truly meant for you by not overgiving. You only lose the ones who were never ready to match you in the first place. And if he falls away because you're not bending over backward to make it work, good. You just saved yourself months, maybe years of heartbreak. You just protected your energy for the man who will see your value without needing you to prove it. Overgiving too soon doesn't just kill attraction, it kills respect. Because deep down, a man knows when he hasn't earned the level of access you're giving him, and when respect dies, desire doesn't stand a chance. So if you want to be the woman who captures his heart, slow down. Let him show up. Let him invest. Let him wonder about you. Let him experience the incredible privilege of earning his place in your life. Because the woman who knows her value doesn't overgive to be chosen. She allows herself to be chosen by the one who knows she's a prize. There's one more thing that will kill your value faster than almost anything else in the eyes of a man, and that's losing your individual identity. It happens slowly, almost invisibly at first. You meet someone. The connection feels electric. You want to spend every minute together. You rearrange your schedule. You start dropping plans, forgetting about your goals, sidelining your passions. Little by little, you fold yourself into his world. And at first, he might even love it. It feels good to be admired, to be the center of someone's universe. But over time, something shifts, something subtle. The very thing that made you magnetic in the beginning, your own fire, your own life force, your own dreams, starts to dim. Men are drawn to women who are full, women who have their own rhythm, their own purpose, their own sense of excitement about life that doesn't revolve around anyone else. It's that fullness that makes you fascinating. It's that fire that made you unforgettable. And when you abandon that, when you start living through him instead of beside him, he feels it even if he can't explain it. The energy changes, the polarity shifts, the attraction starts to fade. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's story. You were meant to write your own and then choose someone who's excited to co-author the next chapter with you. Your dreams, your passions, your friendships, your hobbies, they are not distractions from love. They are the very ingredients that make you a woman who can love fully without losing herself. And listen, when you stay rooted in who you are, you actually inspire a man to rise higher too. Because men are not truly inspired by a woman who follows them around. They're inspired by a woman who walks beside them with her own dreams blazing, with her own life full of meaning and energy. You have to remember who you were before you met him. You have to stay connected to that woman. Because if you abandon her, he loses the very woman he fell for in the first place. Think about it. It's the woman who has her own passions that keeps a man curious. It's the woman who's chasing her own goals that keeps him engaged. It's the woman who's deeply alive, regardless of whether he's in the room or not, that makes him realize he's found someone rare. If you lose yourself, you don't just risk losing him. You risk losing your own life, the one you were born to live, with or without him. And that's the real heartbreak. Not a breakup, not rejection, but waking up one day realizing you don't recognize yourself anymore. Realizing you gave up too much of your spirit for a love that was never supposed to cost you your soul. Love that's real doesn't ask you to shrink. It doesn't ask you to sacrifice your dreams. It amplifies who you already are. It supports you. It celebrates your individuality. So don't ever make a man your mission. Have your mission, have your purpose, have your passions, and invite a man into the powerful, vibrant, extraordinary life you're already building. The right man won't be intimidated by your fullness. He will be inspired by it. He'll cheer for it. He'll add to it, because a woman who refuses to lose herself in love becomes the woman no man wants to live without.